we are going to start our program tonight. I have two beautiful souls joining me tonight. And so I want to welcome tonight Brother David and Brother Abdul Hawk of True Black Light Media. Welcome, my brothers.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Peace.
And so we as because the universe is really talking to those who are conscious and awake, we, the three of us, decided we needed to come together along with our brother Amun, who is the leader of True Black Light Media, that we need to talk about all the distractions in our country that are really keeping us from being whole, healthy, and raising our consciousness. So these two beautiful brothers are going to help me, your holistic life coach, present to you some better responses to all that's going on. We're going to talk about some of the major distractions tonight, and then David and Abdul are going to impart some wisdom tonight about how we should be responding and not reacting, because there's a lot of reactions. So first, I want to ask, let's say, Abdul, would you like to introduce yourself to our audience? Tell them a little bit about yourself, especially how you got connected to True Black Media, True Black
Well,
Light.
greetings, all. Greetings. Thank you for that. I am Abdul Huck. Uh, I've, let's see, where to start. I've been into culture basically since grade school. I grew up in the 60s, where during the time when Black Power and uh, Black love, was at its height. And so the environment from schooling on out to the streets it was all about unity and liberation and revolution. So I grew up in that environment in New York City, in Brooklyn, you know. So once I got out into the world, let's say, I began to look for other like-minded of myself, and I joined several movements. I was fed by the Black Panthers uh, breakfast program as a child.
Really?
Yeah. I was a child in one of those programs in Brooklyn. And so by the time I got through college age, I was diligently seeking uh, like-minded people. By the time I left college, though, seemed like the revolution had faded.
Hmm.
But the fire in me had not faded. So, but I found some groups, and it went on in that manner. Uh, by the time it came to the late 2000s, we're still in the 2000s, the mid 2000s, say after 2020, I was introduced to Black Root Science by someone who was also in some of the groups that I was in. So once I got my hands on Black Root Science uh, and the Amana Village, the True Black Light Media, it was on from there, because what the Amana Village does, True Black Light Media, is put together all the strings of all the groups and all the philosophies and all the mentalities of people, like-minded people, or those who want to help liberate our people, those who want to help uplift our people and give us back our sovereign mindset and cultural mindset. That's basically how I came to be in True Black Light Media.
When you mentioned the Black Panther program that you were in, I was thinking, boy, do we need that now.
Yeah.
because one of the major distractions right now is the loss of food stamps and EBT, and especially, and it's not like it's just the Black community, because more there, the higher percentage of people on EBT is in the Caucasian community.
Mhm.
There's actually 30 some percent of our population is Caucasian on food stamps, as opposed to 20 some percent of Black Americans on EBT. But they seem to be really highlighting the foolishness of Black Americans right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big distraction right now, even though the true picture is not what we really see. So wouldn't it be great if we had another Black Panther breakfast program throughout America, so these women could stop? It seems to be mostly women could stop getting anxious and afraid that they're going to lose their food stamps.
Exactly, exactly. The, a lot of people don't realize that the free breakfast program, the free grocery program that they had, also the free medical program, all these programs by the Black Panthers were emergency contingency programs. They were just the beginning of the revolution. What they were meant to do is stabilize the community, like you say, so people won't worry about food, so people wouldn't worry about healthcare. So to stabilize the community in order to build the revolution from there. That's what the powers that be was afraid of. Also, the Black Panthers was a coalition of not just Black people. They had straight up rednecks, rebel flag waving rednecks was part of the how you call it, allied with the Black Panthers. Uh, Hispanic groups were allied with the Black Panthers. Gangs were allied with the Black Panthers. And this is what the government was afraid of, not because so much of the coalition, but because it was a Black-led coalition that they couldn't have, because ultimately it would benefit Black people, but ultimately the whole nation. But because it was Black-led, they can blacklist it, as said, and work on the racism of the general country to help take down the Black Panthers, to help take down our movement. Yeah,
And also the unity factor. Like you said, there were different factions of our population that were coming together to support the Black Panthers, feeding their children and feeding the community. So there was a unity energy happening back then. And the government and the elite and the psychopaths saw this as a problem to their control factor. How are we going to control these people when they're unified? And that's what's going on even now. To me, the distractions are all about divide and conquer. So thank you for bringing up that history, because listen, I was selling Black Panther papers on the streets of Chicago back then too. I'm in that generation. In the 70s, I had a boyfriend who was in the Black Panthers big time, and he pulled me in there to sell some Black Panthers papers on the corners of Chicago.
Wow.
One of my relatives saw me and they told my mother, and then she freaked out. But either way, I was a little wild and revolutionary anyway. Yeah, that's what we need now. So Brother Abdul, did I get that right?
Yes.
Brother David. Brother
Yeah.
David.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your radical background or
Oh,
revolutionary.
okay. Oh, I no problem letting you know that. Also, basically, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, uh, and my family in Baltimore fell on some, I guess, hard times, and I was adopted and brought to New York City in 1960. And I was brought. I grew up in Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill is what they call the suburbs of Harlem, and just like Brother Abdul, we came up around the same time, and one of the things that struck me in 1968, 1969, as a little kid, was a song by James Brown, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." And after that, I was just hooked. and everything was red, black, and green. I had my afro, was wearing dashikis. I had a beret, a black beret that I could only wear in the house because my mother wouldn't let me wear it in the streets because she didn't want, I guess, the popo have me associated with, look at that little Black Panther there, type of thing. And so uh, so again, like I said, so my mid teens, I didn't know what to do. I became an early father. So I said to myself, I need, now that I'm a dad, I need to do something to support my family. I joined the United States Marine Corps. Did 6 years in that. Um, but a little bit after I had joined the Marine Corps, I living in New York. There was these brothers that I used to see wearing white up and down the subways. They were selling incense. They were selling oils, good smelling oils and stuff like that. And they had certain literature. And one of the first literatures that I bought from them was a little pamphlet called "What Christ Really Crucified," and so I read that, and I basically started with a group called the Ansarullah Community, and that's where I kind of got my spiritual consciousness at, because not only was that particular group dealing with spirituality and religion, it was also talking about the almost like uh, the conspiracies of the government. Stuff that the government was doing that a lot of the public didn't know that the government was doing. So as time went on, the kids are growing up, being married and stuff like that, working. Uh, I was, let's see, I would say about 2022. Uh, there was some post on Facebook, and Brother Moon was doing the post, and somehow I guess one or two of the posts hit my spirit, as I would say, hit my spirit. And then he kind of mentioned that he was conducting some type of lectures, and to go to Zoom uh, to hear these lectures. And I heard the lectures, and everything just hit my soul right. And that's how I was brought into Black Group Science. Yeah, we are powerful people. Yeah, we do have black magic, but we don't you know how to utilize it, and our powers are dormant and stuff like that. And basically, that's how I got into the Black Root Science and stuff.
So all of us are baby boomers. Do I hear that?
I'm a '59 baby.
I'm a 57 baby.
Okay, I'm 55 baby. So yeah, I think we're all baby boomers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that we all are connected to Amun and the True Black Light, and he's a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
But we all recognize the consciousness in our younger brothers and sisters. So it's really not about how old you are or what generation. It's like, even if they're 30 or 20, my grandson is 9 years old, and that little boy has got the mind of a 50-year-old. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's ruling me most of the time. And I have learned to listen to him more and more instead of trying to control and direct him, because he says things that make me, this is an old soul. In other words, are we not dealing with a lot of old souls who are in younger bodies? What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Brother Abdul.
But yes, yeah. The fact is, after 1961, is it, brother?
Yeah, 1961.
After 1961, the ancient DNAs that we have that were dormant within us, were how you call it? not dormant. They were
Activated.
activated, right, at birth. From those born after 1961, these dormant DNAs were have been activated at birth for these people. So the younger generation has a an advantage, let's say, to because they have a direct link to our ancient knowledge. The truth has been the truth, and the truth has always been the truth. Our generation, three of us, we had to go seek it, and then we had to exercise in order to activate, our ancient knowledge and our ancient DNAs. We had to put in work. These younger generations, their DNAs are open, are already activated. So you're going to see a lot of that in the young people. So they're yes, you're right. They are an old soul because they have access to our ancient knowledge and our ancient past through a direct DNA link. All they need is the proper environment, and the proper nurturing in order to embellish it.
Yeah,
Right, Brother David?
we had to do a lot of work, like riding our bikes to the library to look up things
Mm-hmm,
versus
mm-hmm,
handing out up the phone and
mm-hmm.
pulling it up. So let me ask you this question: do you think AI is a distraction, or is it something we really need in this day and age? Either one.
I look at it as, to me, from what I've seen, I look at it as a distraction in the sense that because with AI, they can take your image, all three of our images, and make it seem like we're doing something that we're not doing. And the next thing you know, like say they can have an image of me robbing a bank, and now put that out there, and now next thing you know, police are not busting down my door talking about where the money.
Mm-hmm.
you, you,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
so I
that's
mean, I've seen an AI image of Muhammad Ali dancing down the Soul Train line. Um, there was there's different type of AI images that's out there now.
Mm-hmm.
According to the dominant society, they say it's a good thing because they can do more things with it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, me personally, I think it's a distraction, and it's not for the better. It's not for the good.
okay. Abdul, what's your
Right.
thoughts?
Right. AI, the way it's being used right now, generally is a distraction. But AI itself is just a tool, like any other tool, like computers, because people said that about the telephone when it first came out. People said, "Oh, the telephone is evil," but now we don't hesitate to pick up a phone. And people said that about electricity when it came out. Oh, electricity is evil. And yes, it has, some negative elements, but it's a tool like anything else. And because we live in a negative dominant society, uh, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of negativity going on with AI. But if you go into our ancient knowledge, AI has been around in the universe for eons, and more sophisticated AI than what's going on now. And it's because it's controlled by uh enlightened societies or enlightened beings. You know what I'm saying? That it's a positive thing. We have to gain control of it. We have to use it for positivity. You know what I'm saying? That's the distraction is not to use it for negativity, but use it for positivity. You know what I'm saying? That's our distraction, not to get caught up in all of what Brother David is talking about. And he's very correct, not to get caught up in that, but to gain control over it, and not to fear it, but to gain control over it. That's our that's 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 where the distraction lies. Let's put it like that. We can either be distracted by it, or we can get into it and control it and use it for our own means. You know, this whole internet was set up by let's put it like this, was inspired by our own ancient let's put it how would you put that, our ancient guides, our ancient connection to the divine, for us to be here at this moment. You look at Sister Verete, Brother David is up in New York, I'm down in Georgia. Sister Verete, I think you're in Florida, are you?
Yes.
Look at us. But right now, we are talking on the same level, the same mentality, and reaching others, you know what I'm saying, all around the world, potentially. This is the essence of how we have to use these tools. And our ancient elders foresaw this and inspired the internet just for these type of moments, just for this type of purpose. So AI is another tool in that process.
Yeah, I was talking to a girlfriend earlier, and we were like thinking back on movies we've watched that predicted AI's advancement. Because I don't know if you remember the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, in that movie, the man died. His robot picks him up, takes him in the spaceship, and puts him in basically what we would call today a med bed, and turns on the energy and frequency and brings him back to life. We can do that today. They haven't revealed it all, but that's just advanced AI, artificial intelligence, or what I would really call creative intelligence, because that's why the sick care system is collapsing, because there is technology available to actually scan a human body and correct whatever is out of balance. That is just so prevalent right now, but it's hidden. And so what Brother David is saying, people are using AI for entertainment purposes, creating these images of dead people, alive, looking like they're alive, creating images of, they take you, for instance. Yeah, people are using it for clickbait, to make money on. And so what I think what you're saying, Abdul, we need to listen to as taking advantage of the benefits of this tool and using it with our conscious mind to
Exactly.
create what we need to create in this society. So it's becoming more and more obvious that AI can be helpful more than harmful, especially when it comes to our health and nutritional medical need. I'm in a Facebook group, for instance, of women with breast cancer, and all these women most of them seem to think the chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery is the solution. And so they're looking at their oncologist for advice. Savior, be my oncologist, worshiping the oncologist. Well, someone used AI to ask the question, what is the root cause of this cancer and how can we heal it holistically? Blew my mind when I read the 12 things that AI came up with. They didn't mention chemotherapy, it didn't mention radiation, and it didn't mention surgery. It mentioned, above and most important, it mentioned that we lost the ways of our ancestors. I'm like, what? AI did that? So I'm like full on with AI now. We have to befriend AI and ask and treat it like a brother. Hey brother, this is what can you help me out today, brother? That's what most people are starting to respond to AI is, you're my friend and I need some help. And we can just about get any answers we need from the right AI program to solve a problem these days. So yeah, I agree. AI is a distraction for the very reasons David said, is because people are using it to entertain and earn money, make money off of it. But there's so much benefit from that. So another distraction. Did you all have a comment?
I just want to say that even the AI that is out there today does not have the complete knowledge of our ancient culture. Not this one that we have now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It has a lot of stuff going for it, but there's a lot of stuff because I've asked AI questions that it couldn't answer. You know, and I had to answer, but AI couldn't answer it
Mm.
because we have the access to the knowledge of the true black light media that AI doesn't have. However, like you're saying, Sister Violet, we uh, it can be a great tool for the knowledge that exists, the knowledge base that exists now. You're very correct in that. Yes.
And it can take us out of the traditional harmful
Hmm.
information knowledge that we've been addicted to and bring us into more modern technology that is being used everywhere. So yeah, we have to, like, again, consciously think about, like you said,
Exactly.
True Black Light Media has more answers, so I don't even need to go to AI for some things. So if we have a community of conscious people, then we won't use AI as much because collectively we have the answers.
Exactly. Exactly. The
So
answers come from within
We
us.
always had
Exactly.
the answers.
yes, yes.
That's right.
But with all the distractions, let's go into this EBT because that's a major distraction. Or let's just say government assistance. That has that not been a distraction? Because
Mm.
when it started out, I don't know who was the president that started it. Was it Nixon or somebody earlier? Who decided that when black women can get more assistance if the man is not in the house. Okay.
Right. Right.
That was
Right.
that was the first distraction, major distraction. Okay, we're gonna government's got big daddy government's gonna help you, but we don't want you to have a man in the house. So that
Exactly.
started a whole bunch of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And now I see more women, single moms, trying to feed their families, and they've been dependent on the government, and the government is saying, nope, we're not doing that no more. And they're losing their minds. So
Mm-hmm.
what is the conscious response to these reactions that a lot of single women are having to being cut off from their master?
I feel that uh, a lot of the women or just people in general, you know, they're in a panic mode right now because their whole thing is that they're saying to themselves, November 1st, everything stops, but it really doesn't stop because it's more so a ploy. I feel that is a ploy by the government. You know, basically what I'm going to say is that I feel that the government is, you know, because we've been sitting back and watching. A lot of black people have been sitting back and watching the government and things that is happening in the government and not being involved. And for some reason, that has, I guess, disturbed the dominant society. And you know, with the elections, with protests, and now, and they want us to get involved so they can, how you say, have an excuse to try to do something to the black community,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now they with the EBT, they said we got to find something. I mean, they're not protesting, they're not marching against ICE. You know, they're not doing this, they're not doing this, you know, doing the things that we want them to do. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see if we cut off the EBT, what they're going to do. Now I've seen a lot of videos where people say, "Oh, well, you know what? If they cut off my EBT, I'm just going to bum rush the store, go in there and grab me a turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm just gonna grab you know some chitlins, and I'm gonna grab this, that, and the other, and run out the store." See, that's what they want you to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll be an excuse for either unliving you on site or incarceration.
Yeah, jail time coming up.
Yeah, yeah, jail
Exactly.
time coming up. But what people need to sit back and us as the people need to sit back and do is saying like, okay, if they do that, what can we do now? As black people, we've been without for a long. I mean, you know, for during the Great Depression, black people didn't have food and stuff like that. We survived. We survived. Uh, um, Doing a lot of times, as as the black mighty people, we survived a lot of hardships and stuff like that, and we will survive this one. So
Hmm.
what black people need to do is sit back and say, okay, government, if you cut off EBT, there's other ways of funding, because even though they might cut off EBT, they ain't gonna let the country go hungry. So they got different, how you say, avenues to feed the people. Now, one of the avenues that I found out is a thing called a website called helpfind.org. So, folks, if tell your family members, helpfind.org. If you put in your zip code, you can find in your surrounding area pantries, resources where you can get food at. So you don't have to be busting up in the store and running out and having the police shoot at you or getting locked up or whatever like that. Um, you can, like, another thing that people can do uh, um, is look up food pantries in your neighborhood, and utilize, uh get food from that type of source. It may not be
Hmm.
the food you want, but it's
Exactly.
food still.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
so basically what I'm saying, I hope black people don't fall big for the distraction and stuff like that is coming with the EBT.
Hmm. Exactly, brother David. Exactly. That's just another big distraction. They're trying to play the big fear uh, uh, card that they played so many times in the past. 9/11 going on with uh, uh, getting the jabs and going on all these different fear tactics in order to get people moving the way they want us to move. You see, you're very correct in that. So this is just another fear tactic, and I hope black people don't fall for it. Like you say, black people, we have gone through much, much, much worse than this, and we always make it through. This is the time when people should be coming together locally. You know, now if they get rid of EBT, like you're saying, the food pantry is going to be full because that's where all the grocery stores, and stuff get their give their stuff to. So if we're not buying it from the grocery stores are going to get rid of the extra produce and give it to the food banks and food pantries. So just like you say, look up the food pantries. This is when all our local community churches and organizations and should be coming together in order to network locally to help each other out. This is what we've always done. So it's no big deal. It's no big panic. We don't have to go running into the stuff. That's what they're putting out in order for, like the brother said, in order to put us in a trap again. You know, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Now we're here speaking as conscious, mentally balanced individuals, but the reality is there's a lot of mental illness in the community, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna be just trigger warning here, just trigger alert, because we got to say it as it. There's a lot of women out there that have been programmed by the society, by the matrix, by the government to be so self-centered that their mental health is gone. Okay, and let me say what I mean by that. I see so many women who will spend thousands of dollars on hair. So many women who are spending money on fingernails and eyelashes. And now they've been addicted. If you've been getting $800 a month of EBT, are you buying fruit, vegetables, and healthy food? Probably not. You're getting a lot of pizza and Coca-Cola, and all these addictive foods have been in their basket. You know how I know is when I'm in the grocery store, I'm looking in shopping carts and looking at the people buying all this stuff. I'm like, that's interesting. And I
Mhm.
many months now, even before this government shutdown, I've been seeing the addictions that people have, and I'm talking about all colors because it's coming in all sizes and shapes. So, how we respond consciously to mental illness is the real challenge because it's everywhere. And I think if we're going to respond consciously to these types of distractions, we got to be able to discern what people have lost their minds, basically. And they out there fighting people, stealing from Walmart. There are cameras everywhere, people. And there are, you think, and then people are actually making videos of their plans to steal, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You're gonna put yourself on the phone and broadcast that I'm gonna be stealing from this place, and that place. Do we not know how the matrix works and the system works? They will be prepared to put your ass in jail. Put it bluntly.
Mhm.
So, how do we respond to the mental illness out there is maybe the more important thing, because I have most of the people in my surroundings are conscious and very sane and healthy mentally. But what I'm seeing, at least on social media and X and all those places, is there's a lot of mental illness. Anybody who wants to put their face out and say, I'm gonna be stealing for Turkey Day, and you better not touch me, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, and then wearing all the hair and the lashes and the neck. That's the mental illness part of the population. And then we have a population that may really be ready to respond with no EBT by going to food pantries, asking their neighbors for help. And me, for one, I'm ready. I'm going to be carrying more cash with me to give out to anybody who's somebody needs it. Here, you need some food today. Here's some money, because I've been blessed to do that. But
Okay.
I think all of us have to be ready to help wherever we see the need to avoid the total breakdown of the zombies and the mental illness. What do you brothers think? I've been looking at this like, how can people be like this?
Well, I just want to say that for the conscious people that's listening to all three of us right now, take when we finish tonight speaking on this, take this video here and repost it on all avenues. Send it to your family members, send it to your friends, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, post it on TikTok, and use it as an avenue to say and let the people know. It's like, hey, listen to these three people right here, and we don't have to go that route of busting up in the stores and Walmart and Targets and Food Town and Sea Town and the Piggly Wigglies and whatever it may be that people are talking about busting up into. Pass the information on, or let them know. Or let them know about different resources, because everybody knows who those family members are that's like that. You know who you know, your cousin Pookie or sister Letitia is
I
going to
was gonna say Lakeisha. That's
one somebody's going to want to try to act up or whatever type of thing. Uh,
Chantella.
yeah. Somebody's going to try to act up, and so you got to like worry about your family and your friends and what's the saying? Am I my brother's keeper? So yeah, we what we're trying to do is help people here figure out a way to not fall for this distraction. So yes, I am your my brother's keeper, and I'm trying to like say pass the information on and let your family know, let your friends know that there's other options out there instead of busting up in stores.
Exactly. Exactly, brother David. You took the words right out of my mouth. You know, we on this platform, Sister Valepe, I know you do a phenomenal job, spreading consciousness throughout the community. You do a phenomenal job. My hats off to you. because it's something that that's close to my heart, and to helping the community at large, whether you're black or not, it doesn't really matter. Helping is help, you know. And we of course are concentrating on the black community because that's where we are. We got to help ourselves first in order to help other people. Like they tell you on the airplane, put your oxygen mask on first, you know, before you put somebody else's on, So we're concentrating on ourselves. And like brother said, we have to go locally, from our families to our communities to people that we know, try to hit them up with the knowledge, try to say, okay, look, there's other ways. And like he said, spread these uh, sessions on Aven and others on this social medias that we have or throughout the medias. Spread the consciousness as much as we can to our families and our friends. True Black Light Media also has people coming in talking about mental health. You know, we have plans, and there are people coming in, and we are establishing avenues for mental health conversations and mental health information. You see, all these things will help in this day and time. Like I said, just spread the knowledge and spread, help each the persons that you can. All of us in the conscious community. That's what we have to do now. We are brothers keepers. Very good. Thank you so much.
And are either one of you veterans?
I'm a veteran. I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Of which war? Or were you in the war?
No, I'm post Vietnam.
Okay.
I joined a year and a half after Vietnam had ended.
So you were blessed to have passed over the combat and come out with not come out with PTSD, right?
No, I don't have PTSD per se. Uh,
Yeah, but other maybe other traumas, but not that one.
yeah. No, no, no. No, no. I had did one thing about the military, real quick. They have a 6 year contract set up where after you do 6 years uh, in the military, uh, you're not able to be called back to any type of conflict. So I did my 6 years, and that's why I wasn't called back to like Desert Storm or Afghanistan or stuff, anything like that.
My salute you, my brother, because
Mhm.
it's one thing to do your 6 years and then have benefits that they owe you, and you get out. That's a real blessing, and to me, that's using wisdom that you passed. You got over the war, combat intervention, and all that, but you still have benefits that the government owes you. So I have a lot of veterans in my life. One of them just passed, who is near and dear to me. And so one of the distractions now that I think we have to maybe talk about a little bit is death. That there are going to be, and part of it is about taking medical interventions from our government that have caused a lot of health problems in people right now. There, if you submit it to the COVID madness, then now we're seeing a lot of the repercussions of that. So one of the distractions that I'm seeing is a lot of people are getting sick, a lot of people are dying, and yet we cannot afford to grieve too long for them, is what I'm seeing. The conscious response is to say, wow, what was the lesson from that person's life, and then keep pressing on because we got too many things to do. And I don't know how you feel, but this is my introduction to this distraction of death and suffering because of what people have submitted to in their lives, and now they're suffering from it. So I had to really process grief quickly this week from a 5-year relationship that I observed from a Vietnam veteran, and all the trauma that he couldn't let go of and get rid of, that ended in a lot of suffering and pain. and then finally transitioned into peace. Thank goodness. So that's going to happen more and more, I think, with
Yeah.
because the last 5 years of our government mandates and such. How do we respond consciously to these events that are going to come up?
Uh, well, I will say this. Consciously, if you have an understanding of death and transformation and understanding that the human body is energy and energy never dies, it just transforms to another form. If you get that understanding, you would look at death differently. But because of a lot of us, not us here, but a lot of black people have, how you say, been indoctrinated in a certain dogma. They look at death differently. So yes, they will grieve and have sorrow in their heart and carry grief for a certain amount of time. Now, trying to explain to people that have been indoctrinated in Christianity or Islam or different type of dogmas that's out there, how to get over that grief. Um, I mean, yes, there are certain words, soothing words of wisdom that you can pass on to them, but again, their indoctrination may take over their thought process, and it may be kind of difficult for them. But I mean, I had a school buddy pass away in September myself and stuff like that, and yes, his particular family felt sorrowful, but as a conscious person, what you could do is how you say, on your altar, make a little place for that particular person, and do libation type ritual type thing for that person, because now that person now become an ancestor to his family, and that's what black people don't get to understand, that after you pass on, you become an ancestor. You know, you like you said, your friend now becomes an ancestor to his particular family, and he's not gone in the sense that a lot of people think of, that he's gone. You know, he's still with us and stuff, but it's going to take a while for people to, how you say, gain a certain knowledge, uh, um, to get an understanding of how death is. But that's why we're here, True Black Light Media, to give them that type of understanding, and that's how we're speaking about it right now. To constantly give them that understanding, and again, hear what we're saying right now with an open mind.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Go ahead, Abdul.
Exactly. For the for those who have lost loved ones and losing loved ones, we can only meet them where they are in their mentality. You know, the more conscious we are, the 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 more conscious comfort we can give to them. If they were, let's say, Christians, we can always tell them, hey, he's in heaven now, and he's at peace, you know. But for ourselves, watching our loved ones and our and our acquaintances suffer here, you know, all we can do is try to give them as much of the truth as we can, try to alleviate their pain as much as we can with our knowledge, of holistic health and mental health, But once you've done that, that's all you can do. Once you've done that, you have to be satisfied in your own self that, hey, I did what I could. to comfort this person when he was here, and now he is beyond suffering. So that's all we can do. You know, as conscious people, we warned everybody about the COVID situation. So, you know, all we can do is sit back now and say, hey, what's happening is happening. We tried, we did our best, you know, we tried to tell everybody. So if you fell into that, you fell into that, you know, and all we can do is comfort you and comfort your loved ones as much as we can, and move on, like you say, and move on. You know what I'm saying? To the next distraction.
And you know, guess what? I've heard from a lot of people who got caught up in the jab and the COVID nonsense, and they ask AI how to get out of it, and guess what? They got some good information. So that's where AI is going to come in on for help everybody. Is like,
Yep.
when you think there's nothing you can do, your heart problems, your inflammation go to AI and say, hey, you know, AI, I got this real big problem here, blah, blah, blah. I took the jab, and AI will come out with the truth most of the time that you didn't expect. And these doctors don't know what to do sometimes. So let's just use all the tools that the Most High has given us in these crazy times. So let me go to some of these comments. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore everybody. Prince Nuriel, peace and love, family. Amana Kingdom, and peace and love to you, Prince. Thank you for joining us. Robert Young says, Hallelujah, Yahweh, my brethren. Robert Young is active tonight. Thank you, Robert. One love. Move around with Deborah. Deborah is one of the Female Solution hosts for the broadcast Female Solution on air everywhere. She says Operation Bread Basket Chicago. So Deborah and all my sisters in Chicago are very active in bringing solutions to this problem about food stamps and all that. Zelda, in fact, one of the Monday morning hosts, has been doing homeless runs for the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know. It's been a long time. She gives out food all the time. She and her husband drive around Chicago, taking food to the homeless in the winter, in the summer, no matter what season. So we should all be applauding my sisters in Chicago. Thank you, Deborah, for that reminder. Operation Breadbasket. There's no excuse in Chicago, really, for anybody to be crying, I don't have any money for food. There's so many places in Chicago where you can get assistance for food. So there's no excuse. Robert Young says conscious light. That's what we are here. We are full of light and love, and we're conscious. So we're bringing you the wisdom and the solutions. So if you do what Abdul suggested and David, just share this video with as many people as you can, so that they can develop wisdom and consciousness to their problems and challenges, and we can reduce all this suffering in our country and our world. It's crazy right now. And Robert Young says, Shalom, Deborah and Prince and Queen Beata. Shalom to you, Robert. Tara Greenwood, Drumalong, peace and love.
Dumalang. Yeah.
Drumalang.
That's a Saswana greeting from the Saswana African language. Greeting.
It means hello.
It means hello. It means greetings. Hello. Dumalang.
I'm gonna have to add that to my final words. Dumalang. Okay.
But that's plural. Sister V, Dumalang is plural. Dumela is singular. So if I would say the hi to you, I would say Dumela, Sister V. That's single, but Dumalang is plural, meaning like hello everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I love that. It sounds melodic, very. It's like you could sing it. Is there a song that goes with that? Doomalang, Doomalang. Prince Nuriel says, Shalom, brother Robert Young. Okay, maybe you all should get together. Yeah, he knows you, she knows you. Kirby Gordon, peace family. Thank you, Kirby, for joining us. And this looks like what is that? A foreign language, someone from is that Arabic? Peace and love.
Look that way. Yeah.
Peace and love to you too. I can read that language though, peace and love. And then another sign, this sign, which is what is that? Love?
Power, black
Oh,
power.
okay, I see.
That's a
Power.
power fist.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And you know, I think this at this time of our lives, the European Caucasian community is looking to melanin people to rise up and be who they are, kings and queens here. Okay. That's who we were in Africa. That's who we are now when we are consciously evolving. I'm with
Hmm.
a group, the synchronistic human family. Ooh, boy, they evolving so fast. I'm like trying to catch up every Sunday. I'm in there every Sunday because these are some younger, a lot of young people, but it's like three generations in this family, a synchronistic human family.
Yeah, the
And
melanated immortals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Melanated Immortals, Neb Taharka is the
Neptahaka.
teacher.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get to Sunday mornings to be with that family. And then they have meetings throughout the week that I miss. But Sunday morning, I don't miss that Sunday morning meeting anymore
Hmm.
because Neb brings some real jewels. And then all the people he brings, the family, we melanin people need to work on our kingship, our rulership, our royalty, because the world is waiting for us. They making a lot of jokes and memes about the bonnet wearing melanin people and fighting melanin people and the wigs and all that, but they're in the minority. It's we who are the kings, queens, conscious ones. We're probably in the majority, and they're not highlighting us because they
Hmm.
want to control everything. But we're here tonight to remind all you melanin people and all you Caucasian people to let's just get in line and let's all raise our consciousness and evolve together so we can bring peace to this planet, which is in chaos right now. Everywhere it's in chaos. You think I would have thought by now we would have been celebrating Palestine, having a little peaceful period where they could rebuild, regroup. Them devils over there dropping bombs again, fighting all over again, but Trump trying hard to bring peace, and here they go again, dropping. It's like, will this ever end? That's why the prayer of the seven galactic directions is so important right now because it really puts out there the idea that sometime we're going to have peace in this world. We're going to stop all these wars one day, but we're not seeing it right now. But it's really, I think, melanin conscious people who can lead the way to that. And right now we got the Zionists, and I will say that the Zionist mafia trying
Hmm.
to control
Hmm.
everything and everybody, killing, murdering, raping. They doing the whole show. It's a very good entertainment, bad entertainment. And it's up to us to make the change, which means we got to heal our addictions. We got to fast more. We got to breathe,
Meditate.
meditate more. This is what we're called to do
Hmm.
in these seasons. So
Exactly.
thank
On
you. Go
on
ahead.
that note, there is no illness, none, that cannot be cured by our ancient wisdom. None, none, none. No ailments, no illness. Now, it'll take work only because of where the state of mind and the environment that we've been brought up in, and the environment that we find us in. But it can be done. This is the ancient wisdom that the University of the True Black Light is bringing back to our people. There's no illness, not even this COVID stuff, that cannot be undone by our ancient wisdom. I just wanted to throw that in there. Yeah, this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when I go on these Facebook groups of breast cancer support, we got one
Mhm,
now for B17 apricot kernels, which I'm really excited about because most of the people on there are really promoting holistic health and healing because of
mhm,
just behind apricot seeds. Who would have thought? I mean, they just build the whole narrative about what this apricot seed can do for you. And
mhm,
I'm like so excited because I go on there and like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And we all unified. And then you go on these breast cancer support groups, and it's like total mindlessness. Oh yeah, my oncologist told me to do this. I'm like, oh, and then
Mhm.
we tell them what you just mentioned, Abdul, that there's no disease that can't be cured with ancient wisdom. And they're like, oh, but you can always use a little chemo and a little radiation. I'm like, no, we're not doing that no more. We've been doing that for 50, 100 years. No, we're not doing that no more. And they're so addicted. This
Yeah.
the other one more distraction I think we should deal with is addictions. Because from food to alcohol to drugs and opiates, this is to me a major distraction for us, even as a people and in our society. So addictions, that's why these EBT anxiety things are happening, because people are addicted to this non-food called drug or potato chips and all that. What is our conscious response to all these addictions in our society, brothers?
Okay. I would say with food, I mean, for years, McDonald's commercials, Kentucky Fried Chicken commercials with the dancing Negroes and so forth.
Happy
You know,
meals, happy meals.
and the Happy Meals for the kids and stuff like that. Synthetic foods have the advertisement has been so good that it makes you want to eat this crap.
And it's
Also,
intentional. It's intentional.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
Mhm. Mhm.
intentional, and plus, in this society, excuse me, in this society, um, how you say economically, things are going up so high that we have to work harder. So now a lot of times people don't have time to cook their food, cook food. So what do? They go out and try to get fast food. They try to go to these places that I'm talking about, like McDonald's and Wendy's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and all these other type places, and eat the poison, which makes us sick. And while we're getting sick from eating all the bad foods, we got to take and deal with the pharmaceutical companies with their drugs and their BS and the whole nine. Now, when it comes to recreational drugs, and how that's a distraction, it's more so again how you say this dominant society has put the stress on people in this country mentally.
Mhm.
So people will use recreational drugs as a form of escapism. Like I would sniff this cocaine, I would smoke this weed, I would drink this alcohol, and for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours for a half, or however long the drug lasts, I won't have to think about my problems or what I'm going through in life. Okay. So and because that's like the big thing now of stressing Americans out, or now that's not just black people, white people too, but this stressing Americans out. Uh, that's one of the big problems that we have with with the drugs and the alcohol and stuff like that, and with opiates. Like you mentioned, Sister V, the opiates. You eat the bad foods, you get some type of tumor or something going on in your body, and now you have to get like an operation, and now you get the operation, and because the operation something is taken out of your body that's supposed to be there, that's functional but it's not functional right now. uh you go through a process of healing that can be painful, and that's where the opioids come in to kill the pain, and you get addicted to that. So who wins? Pharmaceutical
Mhm.
wins and stuff like that. And with the the other distractions that's out there now. What people, I would say, need to do is to sit back and take time out for themselves. And what I mean by that is after you come out of work from a hard day, take a nice shower, take a hot bath, uh, um, listen to some soothing music to kind of ease your mind. Uh, um, the M word, meditate. Uh, take a moment out for that. Now, if we can get society to maybe use these measures, yes, it will be a lot of healing going on, a lot of better health type of thing will go on. But it's funny that a lot of people now are getting conscious of getting back to the food thing. They're getting conscious of bad foods that's out there, and they're trying to poison the good foods that we have.
That's
There,
right.
there's a company called Appeal by Bill Gates. He's pushing that RNA DNA genetics in the food. They're trying to inject it in the animals. They put it in the vegetables, and fruits and stuff like that. So they know people are trying to do better for themselves. They know that consciously uh, uh, um, we're trying to get better and stuff like that. But they're, how can I put it? Their greed
Mhm.
with the money is the main thing, and that's why pharmaceutical is the way it is, and like Sister V said earlier, the jab was so important because it was about the money.
Exactly. You know, consciously, we have to raise the consciousness of the people and awareness of the people to this food thing that's going on. We have to get back into our ancient diet. You know, our where we we have been programmed to eat all the time, 24/7. You know, uh, and the body just can't really keep up with that, and especially if you're putting in bad foods. But even if you're putting in good foods, we eat too much of it as a whole. you know we have to begin to get the word out there that you know we should institute more fasting into our diets. You know, more land, more lesser portions. Yeah, you're going to get skinny, but you're going to not get skinny. Your body's going to regulate to its original natural body type or body weight. We've been programmed to have these big, bulky, saying hulky muscles, and that's not what our body is supposed to be. As human beings, it's not. Once you fast and begin a regimen, cutting down your meals, cutting down your meal sizes, and get into a cultural mindset, changing the mentality that we have towards food, looking at it as more sacredness and nutrition other than recreation, because food has become recreation. Even the brother said down in the comments, food 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 is another a form of recreation, something like that. He said, and it
Drug,
is.
addictive to
It's a,
drugs. It's a drug.
it's another drug. It's another drug, and as a drug, it is addictive. You know, if used the wrong way. So we have to put out the word that hey, you know, food, we need food, but we don't need food the way we've been programmed to do it. And it's hard because everywhere you look, next thing you look, you're gonna see a big biscuit on a billboard. And then you're gonna see a big pancake in the window over there. Then you're gonna see, on television, you're gonna see Kentucky Fried Chicken all over the place. You see what I'm saying? So it's a struggle, but we have to bring awareness to that to those to the plot, like we did with COVID, to the plot that, hey, they're trying to distract you. They're trying to program your mind. This is not how it's supposed to be. Once that is, we have to feed them the information about proper dieting, proper eating, and proper nutrition. That's our job as conscious people.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I just want to add
Hmm.
to what Brother Abdul's saying. Yeah, folks that's out there, one meal a day it should be sufficient enough to eat, because like Brother Abdul was saying, we've been indoctrinated to that 3 meals a day thing. You eat breakfast in the morning, like say you eat breakfast at 8 o'clock. Okay, that food is still sitting on your stomach. It takes a while for that food to digest. Next thing you know, they push lunch on you. Lunch is what, about 12, 1 o'clock? Now that food from breakfast really hasn't digested yet, but now you're putting some more food on you, which is called lunch. And then to end the day off, you had this thing called dinner, and that's the third meal. And like I said, so now you got two other sources of food that's on in your stomach, and you add a third with dinner. So your body, how you say, is really your stomach, especially, is being traumatized and not functioning right because it's not able to digest the foods the way it's supposed to digest, and you're making yourself sick, and it's causing your different like your organs to mess up and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I would say 1 meal a day uh, um, is good. Black Root Science said to eat every 72 hours, eat every 3 days. But that's going to take some time for a lot of people to get up to that factor and stuff.
well, hopefully, a statement like what Kirby is making will persuade people to change their habits. When he says, "I heard, I do not know if it is a rumor or not, but they are serving human meat." That's very likely.
Amen.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, every time you pass a this is me. I pass Kentucky Fried, Popeyes. I'm like, where they getting all this chicken from? Every day they are slaughtering hundreds of chickens. Where is it coming from?
Hmm.
Somehow the human meat factor has to be in there. And
Yep. We're living in the time of Solid Green.
yes, that was the word. Soylent Green. They always make movies about what's coming, and here we
Yeah.
are.
Exactly.
So people think they eating chicken, and maybe not, maybe not. And so hopefully this might persuade some of you and us to die to fast. You
Hmm.
brothers already mentioned it. I think the conscious response to all this addiction is whether it's sex or drugs or food or something else that you're TV, at least once a week, fast from all of that and go sit under a damn tree, if nothing else.
Exactly.
Or go sit by the lake without your phone. I mean, people can't do anything these days without their phone, but one day, start with 1 day a week, turning everything off, no eating, no drinking, just sit by in nature, either whether a tree, the beach, the wherever you can get into lots of green trees and earth, barefoot on the earth, 1 day a week. That could shift your body into producing your own stem cells because these days stem cells are so valuable and in demand, but I'm finding out your breath work can produce stem cells, and then
Mm.
spending time in nature, just being quiet, can produce stem cells. So we can, like Abdul said, we have all the ancient wisdom to heal anything, but are we willing to be disciplined enough to practice and
Exactly.
absorb and take that in?
Hmm. Exactly. Oh, that's such good advice. Such good advice. Unplug at least starting once a week at least. Oh, that's beautiful.
I used to keep the Sabbath every Saturday
Mm.
when I went from Christianity, Sunday school, all that, into Hebrew Israelite and
Yeah.
studying Hebrew. So I kept the Sabbath every Saturday. And then I started realizing, okay, if I'm gonna rest, I need to give my digestive system and everything a rest. So Saturday also became no food. No, and I'm
Mm.
doing that even now. More, I'm starting it all over again. No food on Saturday. I don't have a church building I go to. Nature's my church, but I practice the things that my grandfather and my ancestors taught me in nature now. So
Mm.
I want to recommend that to everyone because there are so many addictions, especially the phone and the tablet and all that. One day a week, cut things off and go to nature. To try and spend more time in nature wherever you are. And now that winter is coming, you can still do that. You're just gonna have to wear more clothes. Now here in Florida, we don't have to do that, but just get outside on one day a week, or just spend time in your home with everything shut off,
Mhm.
meditate, listening to good music, and watch your body begin to transform and lose those addictions. That's what I'm finding.
And get some sunshine, get some vitamin D.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's what being out in nature is all about. My friend Elitam Elamim, who's a breatharian, he doesn't eat or drink anything. I've been with him long enough to know that's true. And he walked through Africa, and he is lean and muscular, very lean and muscular. And his nourishment is the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass, the green, everything outside is he's nourished by. And so it can be done. But there's that spectrum of Elitam Elamine over here, no food, no water, all in nature, getting all his nourishment from nature. And then you got people on the other end who have to have 4 meals a day and a lot of sex and a lot of this and a lot of that. And they're fat and overweight and diseased. So can we start moving to the middle and then eventually over here with Ellie Tom, because that's where perfect health is, in my opinion, where you're not eating anything. Just let nature nourish you. Kwame says in a forest environment that has been scientifically shown to improve physical and mental health. Yes, yes. I listened to this woman, Salif Sebi. She has a song called Forest Spirit, and it's an hour-long meditation that is just heavenly.
Mm.
Benefits range from stress reduction and mood improvement to boosting the immune system. Absolutely. Thank you, Brother Kwame. He's in Georgia out there in a beautiful environment. One day I'll have to visit because he's in heaven out there. That's another thing with, I know this is we going on, but distractions, religion versus spirituality. Um, I'm starting to see more and more that there is no hell except in your mind. And then heaven is when you leave your body, actually, because that's pure peace, love, joy, all that is heaven. But we've got a lot of people caught up in the idea that hell, you're going to hell if you don't do certain things. And to me, that's a distraction of truth from truth versus the reality of the spirit that's in us and experience from living on this planet. My friend who just passed, he was in hell for a long time, suffering and pain, resisting change, basically, and unable to move from the trauma of war and abuse as a child. All that was it was hell to witness that. But heaven, he's in heaven now. And
Mhm.
I'm in heaven when I'm in nature. So how do you guys respond to people who are constantly saying you're going to hell if you don't do this or that? That's a distraction to me of evolving to a place of heaven while we're on this earth.
I will say basically that a lot of stuff has been beaten into us. I mean, uh, from the way history shows, when we were brought over here on the ships and everything, uh, we had our consciousness, we had our way of life, we still had our knowledge, our spiritual knowledge, and the whole nine. So that's first generation, I guess, first generation slaves. So that first generation slaves, how you say, when they were brought over here, they were beaten not to play the drums. They were beaten not to do a lot of the things that they did back in Africa because the dominant society that was running things at the time wanted to take that from them, strip them of all their knowledge and their ways of wisdom, and push on them their form of religion of Christianity. And after being beaten for so long of pushing on this Christianity, the beatings take on a life of itself. Because even when I was coming up as a child, I didn't want to go to church. But my mother, and I told my mother a couple of times that I didn't want to go to church. It didn't work out well for me, but I told her that, and I was forced to go to church. So when I got basically 16, she asked me, "Do you want to go to church with me?" And I said, "No, I don't." And it was like I was kind of like free of not having mandatory churches on going to church on Sunday and stuff like that. So I say that to say we a lot of black people have been beaten and indoctrinated with Christianity and stuff like that, and it's very hard. It's very hard to how you say get that out of a lot of black people because that's all you know. A lot. I mean, that's what a lot of them. That's all they know and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard to change or change midstream knowledge and stuff like that. Now, there's certain things that have happened to a lot of blacks that have changed their ways of thinking, where they may have prayed for something and they didn't get it, and then they say, "Well, you know what? There is no outside God. There is no God or whatever type of thing," and they change their way of thinking or whatever type thing, or it may have been a death where a person has prayed that the person gets better and the person transforms, makes a transition, and it's like, look, I asked you, God, to make this person better, and look, you took him away, so I don't believe in you no more. So those are certain type of ways that people, how you say, uh, um, uh, uh, um, how you say, shock themselves out of their way of thinking, and then some people do it naturally. Uh, uh, their first self or there's something in their spirit hits them and say, "Hey, look, this ain't the way to go. This ain't right." I mean, that's what happened to me. I started saying, "You know what? I noticed that Christianity is something that when you see a lot of you can go down history, you notice that things were taught to you and stuff like that. But I said to myself, what were we doing before we got here? What was the ways before we got here? And then I like, you know what? I mean, we must have been doing something good because we had gold, diamonds. We didn't care what they were, but we had all this. We were in a land of great resources, and we had to be put there for a reason. So we our ways that we were doing back there must have been the right ways. So how do we get people to kind of change? We have to do it very delicately. Like take like a little, hit them with some right knowledge, but take the little baby spoon, like the little tiny baby little spoons that you feed babies, and try to work on their logic, and hopefully that their logic, little shots of logic will awaken them to come around to see what the truth is.
And that's what this journey is all about. Go ahead, Abdul.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, brother. You plant those seeds, and you never know you never know when or where those seeds will sprout, and that knowledge that you told them way back then will begin to take root, you know, and they'll begin to see. Uh, this whole religious thing, it's another oh, you're going to hell. It's another fear tactic. It's another distraction. It's another their whole religious, political, educational system is built to solidify their economic system, which is all based on greed. Everything, if you follow the money, everything is based on greed. And the religious system and its message is nothing but a pacifier to keep you locked into the system, locked into that greed, locked into that consumption. Oh yeah, it's Christmas. Let's get some turkey and some Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you. It keeps everybody placated. They used our natural uh, uh, magnetism or for spirituality and twisted it into a system that they can use for themselves, for the uplifting of their greed. You see what I'm saying? That's why even in Christianity, you'll find people have done miracles, in Christianity, not realizing that they did their own miracles from their own spiritual energy from within them. You see what I'm saying? They saw something. Yes, they saw something because of their own faith and their own miracles and their own power within. Instead of connecting to that power, like all the religious, the original religious masters that came. Jesus said, "The spirit of the heaven is within." Everybody's talking about within. Jesus said, Don't you know ye all are gods?" It says so in your own books. This is what he came to teach, but his message has been so twisted that it's unrecognizable. You see, so the religious aspect is another distraction to keep the other distractions going. You know what I'm saying? That's what's being used today. And our job, like the brother said, is to enlighten them to that fact. Little by little, say, hey, this is not what this is not what this is not what it seems to be. You know what I'm saying? This is not what we had. Look what we had before the Christianity, before these indoctrinations came to our indigenous communities. We had peace. We had enlightenment. We had everything we needed. But now, with the upcoming of all these religious doctrines, we have rapes, we have robberies, we have old folks' homes. What do they call it? Retirement homes. We've never had retirement homes before. We have jails. We never had those things before. We had never had any, none of those things. But now that we have, we are so-called civilized, and we have all these modern religions. Now we have all these other problems. Come on, something is wrong, and that's what we have to enlighten them. Excuse me, enlighten them to the distractions that have been caused by these religious indoctrinations.
So I think what Kwame is saying here is kind of the final word for our topic tonight. How do we respond consciously to all the distractions? We take a breath and another breath, and we keep doing that in a deeper way in meditation. And guess what? The Most High Spirit of love, truth, and wisdom comes to you when you sit still and breathe. It's that simple. But so many people, I realize so many people's nervous system. My grandson has this problem, but I'm learning to be patient. His nervous system is so disturbed that he can't sit still. Mm-hmm. And that's because going back and forth from a divorce and all the trauma that he's had to endure, I understand. And then I don't know if they gave him the vaccines or not, but learning, and he doesn't like yoga. He told his mama, grandma makes me do yoga. I'm like, oh, that's really horrible, isn't it? And for him, it is because his nervous system is
Mhm,
so out of whack.
mhm,
So Kwame is reminding us we all inhale and exhale, enter and take in breath, and that's the life of the Creator, the Most High, Yahuwah in my language, and end by exhale at death. So let us end tonight with some meditation and breathing from the Kaya music. And I'll let you brothers have a final word. But I want to just do a little meditation, maybe a minute from the Kaya, take us back to a motherland, Mother Africa. And everybody just take a minute to inhale to a count of 4, hold it for 7, dwell in that 7 number, and then exhale for 8. We're going to do for about a minute. Close your eyes if you feel like it. I hope that if you've been with the True Black Light Media, you've been listening to some of the beautiful meditation music that Brother Amun brings in. I spent 40 days with him and the Black Light Media family doing meditation for 3 hours. It was just so amazing. And the
mhm,
music was what kept me going. It was like this, he brought in so much really good meditative and spiritual and African music. So I think the three of us agree that the final word tonight is, how do we respond consciously to distractions? We breathe and we listen to music that speaks to our soul, not just our flesh, because there's a lot of music that speaks to our flesh, makes us move it. But we need soul music now, and not necessarily James Brown, because that was more flesh music on some level. But
Earth,
now
wind, and fire.
for all of us to consider, how do we respond? How do we react? Are we going to react? You're going to react if you're not breathing deeply, but it's hard to react when you're in your breath. It's you can't help but if you spend time in your breath deeply thinking about what just happened to me. You're in a car accident, you're in traffic. When you start breathing deeply, anxiety goes away, frustration, fear goes away. But if you're not breathing, hey, wait a minute, the F word will be flying out your mouth and everything else. But when you
mhm.
consciously take in the inhale and exhale practice, that's what helps you consciously respond to all these distractions that we've been talking about. So, Brother Abdul and David, I'll let you have the final words.
You want to go first, brother? Or
Well, uh, I just want to say real quick that we have to do this together. You know, it's better, or it's a strength, just like we did the meditations together, Sister Philippa. We have to do this together. You know, in the True Black Light uh, University, we even have, for example, circles of diet circles, where we're on our schedule for 7 years to perfect health, and there's a way to get down to that eating every other day, eating every 3 days. But if we do it over time, you get a much more efficient outcome. And we have circles that'll start with people who eat with 3 times a day, or if you eat 2 times a day, there's another circle for those people. And people who are only eating 1 time a day, there's a circle of that. And we together, they are on their schedule to perfect health, where you fast every 24 hours every 7 days. And then it goes to 42 hours every 7 days. Then it goes to, after a period of weeks and weeks and weeks, over time, over 7 days. But those are some of the things that has to happen. We have to do it together. We never did anything individually as a people. No indigenous people work individually. We always worked in tribes, villages, families. You see, clans. So we have to do this together, and that's what the True Black Light Media is all about. Thanks, Sister Valepe.
And you're on Facebook and Instagram, right?
And TikTok.
And TikTok. Okay. I think I'm on TikTok. So you can find True Black Light Media on all the major platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Brother David, did you have any final words?
Well, yes, I do. First of all, I would like to say, Sister V, thank you so much for having both myself and Brother Abdul on the format, so that we can let the people know and about what True Black Light Media is all about. And I just want to say to the people out there, folks, it's time for the awakening. We are going through an awakening right now. You may not understand it. You may have lucid dreams and weird dreams like, why am I dreaming this? It's because you are awakening. And what we're here with True Black Light Media, we're here to help you get an understanding of what you're going through, with your awakening. There are books. Instead of being distracted with TV and music and worrying about EBT, be distracted by picking up a book. Pick up a book. And one of the books I would suggest to pick up is called Black Root Science, Volume 1. In that book, there's a lot of information of how we got here, what to do, how to meditate, certain exercises to remember yourself. Being at Volume 1 of Black Root Science was so good, they had a Black Root Science Volume 2. There's other books that's out there that our brother Moon has written, Words of Wisdom, that has great information in it that you can utilize. Soulmate books about Black family structure and raising kids. It was written also by Brother Moon that can be helpful in the family household to get an understanding of stuff. These are some books to help you with your awakening and not fall for the distractions that's out there. And basically, meditate, fast, eat right, like Sister V said, breathe, and everything will be all right. You've come to find out that your dormant superpower will rise. And again, Sister V, thank you so much for having myself and Brother Abdul on there. I really appreciate it. Oh, and folks, if you're out there, pass this on to friends and family, so that so they don't fall for distractions and the whole nine, and they can stay out of trouble. We don't want to be hearing on the news about anybody getting hurt or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thank you, Sister V.
If you do, because there's a lot of that on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, it's like crazy. I just go to Netflix. After I get tired of YouTube, I'm in Netflix looking at a documentary. That's my thing on Netflix. I rarely am looking for a movie. There's a show on Netflix called I Am a Killer. And I'm so fascinated with that because they document people who are on death row, and these people tell their whole story, what their childhood was like and how they got on death row. They obviously killed somebody, but I love to hear what their childhood was like that brought them to a place of killing somebody. So that's my thing of teaching about adverse childhood experiences, what they call ACEs. The direction that'll tell you where you're going to be when you become an adult. So go to YouTube or Netflix and don't just be entertained. Like Brother David said, educate yourself, please. Get some knowledge about what the hell's really going on in this world that we live in, because we were not taught the truth in elementary school or Sunday school for that matter. We have so much to undo of lies that we were taught as we grew older. And as Kwame said, Psalm 46:10, which said, "Be still and know that I am Kwame." And that's the key. That's the key to our life, is to be still and know that you are God, not just them. That we in here is the kingdom of the Creator, the Most High God. So act like it and treat this as a sacred temple. And Kwame, I think you called in to say something. Kwame's on the phone.
Yeah, and I like to thank the brothers from Blacklight Media. And the thing that I put that last piece is because that's where we have to learn is that in us is the God of our understanding, or the universe. Rumi says everything in the universe is within you when you're going to learn to use yourself. And those suggestions, forest bathing, meditation, fasting, all of that's inner work, because your wealth is within. You look outside of yourself for that stuff, but what you are born with is all that is needed. That's why your breatharian brother can go through the world without taking in food and all the other things that are being offered. It's because he's nourished by just his breath and what is born into him. So we have to look at, the brother was saying that we had things beat out of us, but the part of it is they can do that to the body and they can do some of it to the mind, but your oneness is always there. Your soul is not enslavable. Your spirit can't be taken. They can mess with your mind, they can mess with your body, but your spirit and soul belong to the Creator, which are you, because you created these vessels that we all on, the two men there, yourself and me. We made these bodies in the womb. We designed what we came onto the planet to use. And why is it that we don't use our universal oneness? That's all. And I think it's a good show. Thank us.
Thank us. And you just said it. The reason we're not using it, we got too many distractions. And that's why these two brothers and I agreed to come together. Actually, the universe told us to come together. I think each one of us were spoken to. And then somebody, why don't you all get together? Okay, we just agreeing to get together, do what's right. Because just as Kwame says, why aren't we acting more unified and oneness? Because we have so many distractions.
Right, and that's what you said. The universe brought you together because the word universe, U-N-I-verse.
Yeah.
We have to learn to communicate our universes together, communicate, because it's all, as I say, thank us, we're united in spirit. We're all one universe. We just have to remember how to unify our what we see in above us that glitters at night is all the stars, and that's what's on the planet. Not what we see in a plane looking over a city and seeing all the lights down there. Those are not stars.
Yeah,
the light is within us.
That's right. Thank us, unified spirits. And so I want to just, as usual, leave with my tiny house video, because this tiny house video is a reminder that we don't all need 3-bedroom, 5-bath houses to be happy. This is another distraction of this society world we live in is that everybody needs a big house with 2-car garage. And my journey has been all about going tiny. And so I say to all of you, namaste, sat nam, ashe, ashe o, and shalom. But in the end, I want you to remember tiny is better. So thank you.